Hi, I'm Rajesh and welcome to another edition of Vlogging with Rajesh G. How are you guys doing today? I hope all of you are doing great and I hope it continues that way. So, my today's topic is should men learn cooking? And this is a request video from my sister. So, as promised, this video is dedicated to my sister Divya and Tushar. Please forgive me. Brotherly duties first. Recently, my sister, she visited my house and just usual conversation. I just asked her, how's your husband progressing in terms of cooking? And she said, still a long way to go because he has just started. He didn't even know anything. So I was like, okay. And it was then that she suggested, why don't you make a vlog on this topic? And my first reaction was, I looked at my brother in law and he gave me a thumbs up, go ahead. So this vlog is for both of them or is dedicated to both Tushar and Divya. Entry to kitchen is always banned for guys. All they need to do is to sit on a chair and the food is served on the platter for them. And they just eat and go. And these guys, when they move to a different city, maybe for higher studies or for job, it is then that they understand the importance of cooking food. Because they don't even know anything. Some of them, they don't even know to prepare a cup of tea or coffee. Hence, they are dependent on nearest restaurants, hotels, and things like that. And the most important thing, they yearn for home cooked food. And we all know that home cooked food is both healthy and nutritious. And these are the times when men realize that had they learned cooking when they were at home, things would have been much better for them because their moms were there to teach them, to guide them, to train them how to prepare food. And now they don't even have anybody. They are all by themselves. They don't even know how to pick a knife, how which is chili powder, which is coriander powder. Some of them they don't even know the difference between salt and sugar. And these guys have to get into cooking. So they will take good amount of time to learn the basics of cooking first and then actually start cooking. But had it been taught to them during their childhood or in their growing years, things would have been much different. Cooking would have been a cakewalk for them, at least the basics of cooking. Today, with the advent of YouTube, cooking is no more a Herculean task. There are a lot of videos available for people. They can just watch the videos and prepare food. And these videos are very explanatory. Explanatory in the sense they tell you everything like how much teaspoons of a particular ingredient, how much you need to, how much oil you need to put, how much you need to roast, everything. But despite these things, there are still people who are reluctant to cook food. I don't know what's stopping them because during the first phase of lockdown, cooking was the first thing which was adopted by many people because they felt it therapeutic and they felt, we are learning something new because most of the restaurants were shut down and they had very limited source of food with them. So they decided to make something healthy and eat because that time, we all were looking forward to eat healthy food which can boost our immunity. Let me take a real life example of my cousin. And the example is of a time when, there was no YouTube, there was no smartphones, and even STD calls were pretty expensive back then. And let's address my cousin as D. I don't want to reveal his name. He will kill me otherwise. So, D had an amazing cook at home who used to make amazing delicacies for him, both in veg and non veg, and his taste buds were pampered. So anything he wants, all he has to say to his cook is, I want this, and that particular thing will be served for him on the table. But when D moved to a different city for his higher studies, food became his major challenge. Because, since his taste buds were pampered, he was not able to get that taste everywhere. As a result of which, he visited almost all the hotels in his vicinity to get that taste. But he didn't find that. So finally, he decided to cook food by himself. And when I came to know about it, I was literally shocked. I was like, what? He is going to prepare food? Because I remember there was a time when I was visiting him and I asked him, why don't you learn cooking? He was like, no, I don't want to. And he was a person who didn't even knew how to hold a knife. And here he was on his cooking spree or to learn cooking. But he had the support of his cook. She helped him, she guided him, and she even shared some of her secret recipes with him. So, after so many trials and errors, finally, Dee became a very good cook. He used to make amazing dishes. So, it so happened that Dee invited me for dinner one day, and when I went, I was amazed because, first of all, the food was well served on the table, even on the plates. And secondly, a very simple dish was presented in a different manner. He had added his own twist to it. And that was the beauty about it. And when I tasted the food, I could get the same taste which I had experienced when I was at his home. The taste was similar to the food prepared by his cook. It was yum. That's the only word even today, when I think of her recipes or the food made by that cook, all I can say is it was amazing because I have borrowed some of her recipes, which I use even till date. And one day I was preparing something and I too did a cooking disaster. And I thought, let me just check with D. I'm not very sure if he would have done a disaster like this. So I just called him and I told him, dude, this is a situation. And he said, oh, that's something which I had already done. And I was like, what? And then he just helped me with the correct technique to prepare that particular thing. And it was then that I have realized that, D has progressed far away. Because the trial and errors which he did, he learned them and he always used to add his own touch to every meal that he prepared. So, which was very unique. And as far as if you look up the ingredients that he used, normally the basic ingredients will be there, but he will put something else all by himself. That was, he was experimenting with food. And these experiments were successful. And sometimes it became handy for others who used to seek suggestion from him. Some of the world's best chefs are men, and there is no shame for men to learn cooking because this skill will be helpful to you both in your bachelor life as well as in your married life. Because today, most of the couples are working. So if as a husband, if you lend a helping hand to your wife in kitchen, she will be able to finish off her kitchen work at the earliest, and which may help her to be more productive towards her work. Or you can even give your wife a day's off from kitchen. Ask her, you stay back, you enjoy your day. Today it's my day. It will be a pleasant surprise for them. Because who doesn't want a break from kitchen? So to all the husbands out there, prepare some good food. And a humble request to all the wives out there, eat the food at your own risk. Please don't blame me for anything. Rest, you have the wisdom to take a decision. But eat the food. Encourage them. Correct their mistakes. Because it is these small corrections will be their stepping stones for success. Who else will correct them if you won't? Because remember one thing, given a situation, if you are unwell and your husband has to cook food, if he's trained by you, he will cook food the way how you want it. So now the question is, should men learn cooking? And the answer is yes, of course, because it's a life-saving skill which can help anybody at any given point of time in any part of the world. So I hope this video was interesting. If that's the case, like the video, share it with your friends, share your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And until my next video, just hone up your culinary skills, especially men. And all the women out there, please help them. It's a stepping stone, and please don't shout at them. Teach it to them slowly so that they fall in love with the process of cooking food.